of Gaia, but now you are getting to see them in their full glory, and you're gonna get to see them soon because we're getting right into it. Actually, it is Onion who is going to be playing and looking at these loadouts. Of course, Sencon on that more conventional pen. Sometimes you will see them on a Rapid Blaster, but it is going to be Peekaboo who is running not only no cooler, but opted for the edit that has Crab, so we'll see how they fare up against Sencon's pen.
Honestly, I feel like Credit is a solid choice here because on Barnacle and Dime, like we see right now, that Crab can be a real menace on that open space. We do end up getting a pick off of Gaia now. 2 down on Peekaboo's side, 2 down on Gaia. Gaia is in control of the lead for now, but they are just 5 points in, and this game has just barely started. So now we can see Lucky on the ledge right underneath that platform area, looking to try and get something, but Peekaboo, really true to their name, does end up popping up right behind that Crab and demolishing it in one fell swoop.
Yes, it is going to be the zone going into the hands of Peekaboo here, and they're moving up as well, trying to go for this lockout. Now we know that Barnacle and Dime, very lockout heavy area, so it is in your best interest to try and see if you can get that. And right now they have Gaia's plat. That Crab is going to come out from Luckia. We have a throw there, rather, from Devade, my apologies. And all of these specials are going to come out to try and put a stop to that bleeding, so to speak. It is at 42, and it's going to continue despite the fact that 2 members have gone down. So you have Luckio trying to reposition, go back with their team at the plat, and finally they do get their hands on that zone.
And with the super special Sippies online, we can see the members of Gaia coming in, trying to get just some sort of semblance of control of those side lanes here. But Peekaboo with that Reef Slider is going to retake control of that zone, giving Gaia a 17-tick penalty. They are back to a 17-tick penalty here as Peekaboo is up in their business, just trying to maintain control of that zone. And we see that Crab once again being popped right now as the stamp coming from the side just really manages to encapsulate the entire zone. We see Squinky moving up onto that platform area, trying to be that anchor that we know and love to anchor the rest of their team so that way they can get the lockout in their control. And with the single digits coming as quick as they can, it is really not looking good for Gaia as they do end up going 3 down in the moment. And with that, Peekaboo takes control of the first game of the set.
Yes, that was a decisive win at the end there. Peekaboo was very careful not to make sure that they didn't overextend, that they were stationed in exactly where they needed to be, because I think if enough of them had gone down, Gaia would have been able to mount a really strong comeback. So I think that was a really good show of restraint. We're going to take a look at the replay here. You see Peekaboo moving up to this plat section. You see, I think that's a curling pick there on, ultimately, I think on Devade, and it's just going to be Devade left here, going to go down to that roller as time is called. So we are going to be headed to a little bit more of a back and forth in tower control Inkblot, rather than Splat Zones, Barnacle and Dime, which can be very lockout heavy. But right now, Gaia, of course, is on the back foot, and they're going to have to take this win home if they have any hope to take the set.
Absolutely, because like per usual, our top cut is going to be best of 3. We're going right into that Inkblot Tower match that you were talking about, and I'm not really seeing any variation in the weapons here. We're actually, no.
There is one thing.
I'm wrong.
Yes. There is a change from Sencon. I mentioned off the top that Sencon tends to like going that rapid blaster, and you are seeing it here in the cooler one. So still going to be that cooler backline, but on something a little bit more suited to tower. 3 members already from Peekaboo are down, and Setcon getting that trade, I think, on the crab edit. That will be the wipeout for Gaia here, and Luckio on this pro Forge, which I will always have to call out as it is one of my favorite weapons, holding that booyah, just trying to stay a threat for as long as they can while those strikes come out from Onion, who is going to go down. There's just a barrage of specials happening here, and they already have a solid push where they're past the halfway mark.
And going through that checkpoint too, like it was butter with a hot knife. Onion here just on that slosher, really taking a good care to make sure that the tower was safe until Devade pops in. With that crab in the back pocket there, I can only imagine it is going to be popped any time now as the opposing crab from Peekaboo is looking at it. And we do see that crab being popped in that bats area, which is a very, very good spot for that crab to hang out, giving you that sort of pressure that you want to see. Peekaboo does end up going 3 down, but a stamp throw to the face on that tower. Luckio still in control of that tower, and they push past their checkpoint 3, and with the GG strikes incoming and a wipeout on Peekaboo, it is just easy peasy lemon squeezy. Ride that tower to the goal with a really super solid knockout from Gaia. Now talk about
Carney,
the cycling matches.
Love being on the mic with you. Easy peasy lemon squeezy indeed. And you see all of them just kind of being a little bit chill here. Onion, she's messing up the group chill a bit. I think everybody set their stuff to match at perhaps Don't Flounder, except for Onion there. You see her going down to the hammer in that moment. But I think past that, everything just really dominant for Gaia. They were having a difficult time in that first game, but you see that Peekaboo hardly got any points on the board. A 90, making it only to a 98, which essentially is just touching that tower. So we are going to see if Peekaboo, what necessarily wasn't working for them, what was working for them, because now that we're tied up, it's all going to come down to Splat Zone's Robo Ramen. And it might be Gaia who has the momentum to take the rest of this set home, or alternately, maybe Peekaboo says, hey, here's the stuff that caused us to lose so much. Now that we've seen the rapid, we're ready for it this time around, and we're ready to counter it.
It honestly, like most of these matches, could go either way. And especially since, like Barnacle and Dime, I feel like Robo Ramen is quite the lockout heavy map, especially if you do manage to take control of that elbow area facing spawn right outside of the zone. And with both of these teams going in, Sencon has made the decision to swap back over to the pencil. I do want to point out that the end parries are on the field. They will be crabbing no longer, as they have decided to go for that AoE special to try and maybe live up to that Reef Slider coming from the Dreadringer. But Peekaboo already, with an insane opening, manages to get it all the way up to 70 before losing a little bit of control here. But they are still going strong and fast.
Yes, there have been quite a few comp changes that we're seeing. Not only those end parries, of course, we have a switch back from Luckio away from the Forge and onto the Frozen Pro. Gonna have those missiles online. And of note is we've seen that crab edit every single time up until now. Finally, Peekaboo is going to have that cooler coming out of the edit. And I think that Gaia actually has a really tall mountain to climb if it isn't already apparent. The other team, Peekaboo, is already down to 15, so now they are painting, but they are up against 2 Reef Sliders. That is super difficult, and I think with 3 of the members going down, there's probably not going to be enough time to get back into that mid, so that is just going to be game for Peekaboo. I think paying back Gaia with their decisive win in that second match.
Youch. You really hate to be Gaia on this match because, like you said, comp switches aplenty on both sides, but I feel like the double reef slider silliness was probably the decisive matter in that, because I feel like Gaia could not keep control of the paint on the zone at all. We saw reef sliders just coming in from all angles, while the other members of Peekaboo just consistently picked off the members of Gaia and pushed them all the way back to spawn with single digits remaining on